Steve Martin, was on the Queen 63 to 66, waiter, become storekeeper, assistant storekeeper. Married, 2 daughters, 5 grandchildren. Did the last trip on the Queen Mary, took her to Long Beach.
Wow.
Come home, bought a hotel in Northumberland for 25 years. Retired 6 years ago.
Amazing. Amazing story. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. Dennis. Keep it clean, Dennis. Don't forget.
What do you want me to do? Tell a Jethro story? So, I want to show my back to somebody. Before I say who I am, one person asked me to be remembered for all the people who were on the Queen of Bermuda 64, 5 and 6, and that was John Ferris.
Oh, right.
He can't be here because he's just had his prostrate removed and he's not allowed to travel yet. But he said anybody who was on there when I was on there, please give him my regards. And he hopes that the next one we have, he'll be fit enough to come.
Good enough.
And he's in Pennsylvania.
He's in Pennsylvania now. He's got a beautiful house and 20 acres of land, and his son is living there. His daughter still lives in Bermuda. She's married, I think, to a Bermudian, isn't she, Alan?
Yes.
Yeah. And his brother lives in Pennsylvania, not more than half an hour away. So he's got all the family from England, which used to be in Paulsgrove near Cosham, are now in America. Right, Dennis Knight. Joined the Merchant Navy at 15, went to sea school in T.S. Warfleet, which is in Botley, just outside Southampton. Went to sea, first ship was Esso Tanker, up to Iraq, Basra, and Kuwait. Had enough of that, well, I'm wasting my life here. Went on my liners, Union Castle, Royal Mail, Shore Savile, and eventually joined the gem of the British Navy, Merchant Navy, which was the Queen of Bermuda.
Yeah.
There was no other ship in the Merchant Navy that I can think of. It was like the Ocean Monarch and the Queen of Bermuda. 450 crew, it was like one big family.
Yes.
The captain saw you coming down there, said, "Good morning, Knight." "Good morning, sir." Other ships, they didn't do that, they might not. It was a wonderful, best 3 years, I think, of my life out there. It was absolutely wonderful. 64, 5 and 6 I was on there. And I left there and decided I'd have a little bit of time ashore. Worked on a crabber, went on a trawler on deck from the catering department, which was a bit of a thing. Spent the winter rolling around the English Channel. Went back crabbing again in the summer. Did a stupid thing and got married. Incidentally, I've been married and divorced twice. I've had enough wedding cake. And I then married her, and I thought, well, I better go and get a proper job. So I went back to sea and I went on the Northern Star, carrying the 10-pound poms out to Australia, New Zealand, and wherever. I was a cabin steward. And she couldn't stick that, so I retired from the sea. Thought, what the hell am I going to do? I don't know anything else. I went to an engineering factory for 12 months, which I hated. I did 1 hour's overtime. That was the longest day I'd ever done in my life. When I started working myself, there was never enough hours in the day. So I then became a fish merchant. Door to door in a van, all winds and weathers. And then ended up with half a dozen staff, 2 shops and a wholesale business, and grey hair. And developed 1 or 2 holiday cottages and buildings. And I live in the beautiful North Cornish village, fishing village of Port Isaac, where at the moment they are currently making the TV series Doc Martin again, with Martin Clunes.
Wow. And in which one episode you will see Dennis, by the way?
Not on the checkout. I think that just about covers my life in the Merchant Navy. Thank you very much. Lovely to be here. And I was at the last one in Bill's place.
Absolutely.
Bye.
I'm Martin Greenwood, and I was a cadet on the Ocean Monarch 65 to 66, and then very fortunately I was transferred to the Queen for the last 3-4 months, which was indeed a memorable experience. And I think all of us here that were on the Queen when we sailed from Bermuda for the last time will never forget that day. So I had a very good time. My association with the 2 ships started. I was a cadet on the Pacific Envoy, and I was called up to see the captain and told that they were sending me to the Ocean Monarch. And I said, "Oh, that's for 11 months, isn't it?" He said, "If you don't do it, it'll be a mistake." So anyway, I couldn't make the mistake, so I had a wonderful time there. When I left the Queen in Faslane, I had a short leave and then joined a PSC ship called the Salinas. And I have to say, with that voyage, we circumnavigated South America, so that was quite an experience going through the channels down in South Chile. But it was a bit of a shock in some of the Colombian ports, being down the hold, watching cases of whiskey or trying to protect them from being stolen.
We've only got a dozen to go, so coffee will be shortly after we finish the last one. Dave Turner.
Ocean modelling from 63, late 63 to the end of the days in 66. And then I emigrated to Canada and joined Canadian Pacific Airlines, where I met Bob White again. And together we paid many a flying visit to Bermuda to enjoy the company of our old friends Eric and Betty Charman, who are sadly no longer with us. And much otherwise they would have been here today, surely. And I'm now retired from the airlines and enjoy many a visit to England to attend reunions.
Thank you very much.
Jeff Walton, I was 5th RO on the Queen of Bermuda in 1966. So my first year at sea was the last year of the Queen of Bermuda, and went back to Fastlane with them. So I'm seeing for the first time for 43 years all the Sparks and Clarks. What an inauguration to life it was with those guys in 1966. After that I went to the Andes for a while, I bumped into several of the Royal Mail guys that had been on the Queen of Bermuda. Ended up at sea, probably just the opposite end of the spectrum to the Queen of Bermuda, on an automated super tanker. 4 months at sea literally was just that. Came ashore in 72, lived in Italy for 4 years as the resident engineer for a British radar company. Then came back to the UK. I met my wife there. We married 32 years since I met my wife there. Got 2 daughters. We came back to the UK. I live about just 30 miles from here, near to Brighton. Worked all my life in mainly the infrastructural side of communication and radar systems for marine and civil aviation. Currently work for Norwegian company North Control as the UK, looking after UK ports and our coastal surveillance systems.
Excellent, thank you very much indeed. Who's next to you? Can't see.
My name's John Stafford. I was the 4th radio officer, same with Jeff and Dave, on the Queen of Bermuda in 1966. I was there when the ship sailed the final time from Hamilton. That was an extremely sad and emotional time. And the whole dock was full of just sad faces. It was awful, you know, like a funeral almost.
I'm shivering now.
I stayed with Marconi, and then in about 1970 I went freelancing on various ships, and was joined a German shipping company. About 1975 I decided to swallow the anchor, and I became a pub landlord in the Albert Inn, in Totnes, in Devon, South Devon, 11th town. That didn't work out, and I returned back to sea to the same company and remained at sea until 1992. I met my wife in Sydney, Australia, who was a German taken by Wright. And in 92, 93 we moved over to Bayreuth. I've done various jobs until I retired 2 years ago. I have 2 daughters, gorgeous daughters, and one of them still a teenager. So
Wow.
I've still got a lot to do.
Thanks, John. Who's next to you on the road?